Like, that's what I don't really get about this idea that this was them changing their direction. I don't buy it.
What's up?
Bonjour.
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 How are you?
Pretty good. I was in Montreal, so I've come back with a bit of a. Am I not exuding a certain je ne sais quoi?
Yeah. You look very cosmopolitan.
What?
Get a very cosmopolitan look about you tonight.
You know, I'm really bad. Like, I say que and si, but that's like Spanish. Both those words are Spanish. Yeah. So I like every time I go away somewhere where they speak a different language, I'm so used to it being Spanish. So I just
like Cancun or Mexico.
Right. So when I was in Montreal, I always wanted to say like never was it was never merci. Of course, now I can't think of the word. What's the Spanish word for saying thank you? If you say thank you to somebody.
Jesus.
Right. See, I know. Put us on the spot here, but that's what I would say. I would always want to say.
What was it? Gracias.
Gracias.
Yeah.
There you go. Gracias. Yeah. Nice. I would always want to say that, you know, or call them senor. But because I'm just like, everywhere I go where they speak a different language, it's always Spanish because it's always somewhere hot. It's always vacation. And so it just, anyways, I had to catch myself a few times, but that's my first world problem.
Did you actually do that? Did you actually say that? Like
Close. I never did. But I was like, I caught myself every time. But I was like so close.
That's funny.
It's silly. Like I said, that's my first world problem of the day. What's your first world problem of the day, Brent?
Mine?
Yeah.
It's hot down here.
I was gonna say your glasses are fogging up.
See that?
It's
weird, eh? Yeah, I don't know what the deal is because it's supposed to be cooler in the basement, but it's actually like
cold air drops, hot air rises.
I don't know what's going on.
That's like whenever we pack a cooler, Karina always packs like the ice packs on the bottom. I'm like, get them on top. Get them on top. I'd say it's not going to work at the bottom, but if you want the full effect of the ice pack in a cooler, put it on top.
See? You should be running this country, Alex.
I mean, I should be, you know. I mean, I can only imagine how many ice packs you might need at a hotel in California.
Deftly done.
Huh?
Look at you.
Yeah.
Did you put that together? Like,
I said
you just come up
but
with that?
you know, I did. Honestly, you got me on the hot air rises, cold air drops thing, so I just ran with it, man.
I fogged up my glasses on purpose so we could get into that bit.
See? Look at that. We are just like on the same wavelength. We don't talk before this, folks. We don't talk before this.
Nice.
However, just before we get into that, another American institution. Look at this. I'm trying this one. You ever tried this Yellowstone?
What is that number?
That is Yellowstone Select. Bourbon whiskey, 93 proof. So 46.5.
Did you get that at the LCBO?
I did, yeah.
Wow.
And allegedly, it is an award-winning Kentucky Straight bourbon whiskey. As per the little tag that was, I mean,
they all say award-winning small batch.
Yeah, right? Like, award-winning. My wife said it was the best bourbon she ever drank.
That's right.
So we made these nifty little tags and threw them. Yeah, right? But not bad. Pretty good.
Is it?
Pretty good. But,
what's the price point?
I think it's up there. They might also be taking advantage of the very popular TV show Yellowstone.
Right.
So, anyways,
I just thought nice, good for you.
It's a new one. So
this is Elijah Craig.
Very good.
Friend of
mine, my neighbor actually. Your buddy John always drops off a bottle or something. A neighbor of mine down the street dropped off a bottle of Elijah Craig for me. And I was drinking that for a while. It was good. It's a good bottle. Yeah,
it is good. I like it.
Yeah. It's
not super expensive either.
This is the the new kid in town.
Want to keep going?
Hey, man. Come on, I'm just having fun, all right? I'm not a victim of love here, all right? I'm just... wasting time. No, okay, here we go. Let's do it.
Time.
Let's do it.
I knew you were going to that one. I'm not wasting time here.
It's funny. I had to look at the track list to make sure I got there. But Hotel California by Eagles, folks.
Yes.
It is not the Eagles. It is Eagles.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's just Eagles. It's like Scorpions. It's not the Scorpions. It's Scorpions.
Just Scorpions.
That's right.
That's like Bon Jovi. It's not the Bon Jovi. It's Bon Jovi.
Why would it be the Bon Jovi, though?
I don't know.
Unless you're like an old man.
I was just...
I used to listen to the Bon Jovi.
Used to find them on the Google. Yeah, that's right.
For some reason, old people put that in front of words for just no reason.
I was searching on the Google, looking over the Facebooks. I know.
The Google.
Damn. Boomers.
I love it.
Are you boomer? You're boomer, aren't you?
I am. No, I'm Gen X.
You're Gen X.
Yeah.
I don't know the difference. That's good. Not the Eagles, not the Bon Jovi, not the Scorpions. Just Eagles.
Just Eagles.
Just Eagles. It's weird, though. Okay? It's weird
to
just say, hey, I was listening to Eagles today.
I'm sure most people say the Eagles or the Eagles, right?
Right.
Yeah.
That's why I'm going to make sure that the title that shows up within this episode only says Eagles. Because I know that we're going to get ixnay the hate mail.
Okay? Hate email.
Yeah. Or maybe I'll put the Eagles. Who knows? Well, you do because it's already down there. You already see it. So, but yeah. Eagles, Hotel California. Big album, man. This is a big album.
Huge record.
Huge record. I had no idea.
What did they sell? This
26 million?
Yeah. This is one of the best-selling albums ever.
Ever. Right up there with the last album we just talked about with Rumors. Like, that's wild.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of big ones. 1976, pumping out some good ones.
Yep.
Wow.
Very similar record too, right? Just in terms of like, the theme, and the Eagles always did this, talked about like, the loss of innocence and the perils of excess and corruption and stuff like that.
Great album. This is a great album. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I do. I did. I still do. This is a repeat album, man. Like, there are people that talk about stinkers on this album, and like, maybe, but I love every minute and every second of all the songs on this album.
Did you really, eh?
I did. 100%.
Okay.
Ups and downs, ebbs and flows, different guys singing. You just get a variety. You get a taste. It doesn't mean that they were very good, but it was still something different. Don Henley, voice like butter. Glenn Frey, voice like butter, right? Like, great guys to listen to. Who would it have been on that singing? It wasn't Felder. Who was the other guy that sings
Randy
on this?
Meisner.
Randy Meisner.
Yeah.
That bit,
Are you
the bass
talking about
player,
Try
right?
and Love Again?
Yes. Yeah.
That's the song I feel like doesn't really fit on this record.
Here's the thing with the Eagles. I'm always surprised by them. Like, when I think of the Eagles, right? When you think of 70s and when I hear that New Kid in Town was the lead single off of this, I'm kind of like, I guess that tracks. I guess I've always expected them to be a little bit more, I don't know, like upbeat. And I'm not saying there aren't some upbeats, but I'm just kind of always surprised by what are the famous songs from Eagles.
Mm-hmm. There's a couple on here, obviously.
Yeah.
Like the first three, right? Hotel California, Life in the Fast Lane, New Kid in Town, and then Victim of Love was pretty popular too. Wasted Time. Pretty much everything. I mean, Last Resort even.
A lot of ballads from these guys, like even like across all their albums, right? Like, a lot of it is very kind of, I don't know, tame.
The thing about Hotel California was that they had a guy, what was his name? Bernie Ledden, I think, was the guitar player. And he was kind of a country guy. And the Eagles were a country band-ish, in the sense that they were kind of like what you'd call alt country. And then when Joe Walsh came in, and you hear this in the Life in the Fast Lane riff, that riff that starts the song, it shifted towards rock more so and away from country. And you can really hear that this record marked that new direction for them. They wanted to get away from country and more into heavier rock, not heavy rock, but a rockier direction. The ballads are still there. I mean, that's Henley. Henley loves those ballads. So does Fry too, because he played piano. But
yeah, killer combination, man. Like so killer that they couldn't stand the test of time. They just couldn't stand each other.
Almost like Guns N' Roses, right? It just became like this incendiary thing. Like after the Long Run, the album after this, they just started to, they hated each other because there was so much pressure on them to succeed. And
which I guess is like that. Is that what kind of not confuses me, but you hear about the excess. You hear about the excess with a lot of the bands, but with these guys in particular, like there was a lot. Like you hear about it with Led Zeppelin, and you listen to the music that Led Zeppelin is, and you're like, this makes sense. These guys are heavy. These guys play rock and roll, and then you listen to Eagles, and you're like. Like this music doesn't match what they're like kind of infamous for, in America, in the, obviously Led Zeppelin being the UK version almost of their excess here, right? So I always when I think about that and I think about all the things they did, I just kind of always surprised to hear this is the music that comes out of them.
That's a really good point, right? Because if you think of that kind of rock stereotype, you think about people like that look like Slash, for example, or like Joe Perry. Yeah. But you don't think about someone who looks like Don Henley.
No, not a chance. Yeah.
And match that kind of excessive lifestyle with like, cocaine and hard liquor and all that stuff. Yeah. That's a very good point. You're right. You're totally right. And Fleetwood Mac as well, right?
Right. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Same thing. Yeah. They didn't, their image didn't really suit their, their lifestyle.
No, not at all. And not that it has to, folks. I'm not saying it has to. It's just, it's just the stereotype. Like you said, you just kind of like, oh, that's what they do. There's no way they could write a song like Peaceful, Easy Feeling or,
right.
It's just feels weird, but yeah. Killer band, killer story. Yeah.
I have a fun fact for you. I don't know if you know this or not. You probably do.
Okay. Maybe.
It involves Tom Petty.
Oh boy. I don't know. Off the top of my head, I don't know.
So
I got to cut this part. People can't know I don't know this.
So Don Felder, who is one of the guitar players in Eagles, claimed in an interview to have taught a young Tom Petty how to play guitar. Tom Petty was asked later on, did Felder teach you how to play? And he said, what? No.
Yeah.
He claimed it was not true. Strange, isn't it?
Well, I'm going to side with Petty on this. Not only do I love Tom Petty, but he's also dead, so I'm not going to disparage a dead man's name.
I just think it's funny. I don't know, like, why would Felder say that?
Yeah, why would he say that? I thought Petty, to my understanding, taught himself, but I don't know. Maybe it could have been a little detail. No, it's not a little detail he left out. Tom Petty told the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Of course.
So help me God. That is a fun fact.
Mm-hmm.
So we know how this is going to end up. I said I love this album. We know what's going to happen there, but
I'm glad that you like it. It's a quality record.
It's a quality record, man. Yeah.
It's funny because I told people as recently as like last year that I wasn't an Eagles fan, really. And I told you, actually, like, I Can't Tell You Why is a great song, Timothy B. Schmidt. But, there was always something I didn't like with the Eagles. and I kind of worked that out in these last couple of days listening to this record. I figured out that I didn't like that they kind of have this pretentious kind of almost snide kind of way about them, right? But now I don't really care about that much anymore, because I really like listening to this record. Do you want to get into the tunes or anything else that I think that's it. I wanted to make sure that I told you that fun fact, because I thought that was really funny.
That is a fun fact. It's nowhere in his books. None of that shit came up. So he's a liar, Don Felder. He's just trying to get a buck. You know, he's trying to make a buck.
Oh, I have a funny fun fact about this record. Actually, one more.
All right.
I can't remember the name of the studio, but they were recording, and the studio next door was occupied by another popular band called Black Sabbath, and so they were recording Technical Ecstasy at that time, and the Eagles had to
crucify him. Sorry. He said the Eagles. It's just Eagles. Get this guy off the air. Sorry, I'm derailing your thought. Go ahead.
So the band actually had to stop because Sabbath was so loud that the sound was actually coming through the wall,
bleeding through into their recordings.
And they couldn't continue until Sabbath was done.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that tracks. That makes sense. Album cover's cool. Album cover, the whole story with that is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I do like that story. Yeah, they hit like the John Kosh, I think, who did Abbey Road and The Who's Next, I think, as well. He did art directed those ones, I think.
One of my favorite covers of all time.
Yeah. And it was also noticed, right? The name of the band is not on the record. It just says Hotel California. And that was, I guess, his thing, because he's like, Abbey Road didn't have the Beatles on. Was it the Beatles or just Beatles?
The Beatles.
The Beatles.
Yeah.
Okay. So, it just had a picture of the band. You knew who it was. So it was kind of his thing, I guess.
Yeah, interesting. I never noticed that about Hotel.
Yeah.
They wanted to get a picture of a hotel, but the idea was, I think I read this somewhere, that they wanted it to look slightly sinister to suit the lyrics of Hotel California. And so I guess the guy who took the picture got up on one of those, you see like the hydro repair
cherry
guys.
pickers.
Yeah. On one of those over a hill, and it's the Beverly Hills Hotel.
Right.
That appears in the picture. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the photographer was David Alexander or something like that.
I don't know.
And apparently they were like shooting right into the sun, so they couldn't even really see the image. So they had to like really overexpose and fix the camera up so that you got this really grainy shot. But they actually weren't really sure what they were shooting, because they were shooting, the sun was so bright in their eyes. Yeah. Yeah. I think they went to find a couple of hotels, but this was one. And then of course the Beverly Hills hotels started getting, they were like, hey, what's where's our royalties on this thing? They were getting like upset because they were using the image of the hotel. And so I guess they were going to be sent a cease and desist to take the image down. And they were, then Eagles were or it was Eagles or John Kosh or something like that. They were told, hey, bookings for this hotel have tripled. So they're doing just fine based on the use of their image. So they've left it, as we know.
Everybody wants to get paid, eh?
Everybody wants to get paid. So yeah, so some fun lore around the album cover. But yeah, title track. A lot of lore around this one. People love to get into this. I got to say, and before you get into it, I gotta say this. I had to force myself to listen to this.
Really?
I had to force myself to listen to just Hotel California, the song, not the rest of the album, just the title track, right?
Totally,
because you know it, right? But again, like, I'm glad I did, because It really is a great song.
You know, it's funny because I did that too. It's almost like the "You Shook Me All Night Long" thing, right?
Right. Yeah.
And I forced myself to listen to it, but I heard a lot of things that I'd never heard before. And one thing that occurred to me about the song is that like the lyrics always have this kind of like mysticism and kind of mesmerizing quality, right? But the thing that I noticed about it is it kind of adds this kind of irony because the song is actually very plain. So when you listen to the song, like it's, you know, the way that it's produced and it's like 1976, but like the lyrics are like, you know, very, like I said, mesmerizing, but then the music is not anything. It doesn't match it almost. It's just kind of like, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, it's interesting, man. It's interesting. I was, you know, again, like I forced myself and I was like, okay, I'm glad I'm doing this. I'm glad I'm listening to this because, yeah, like it's I don't know. I don't know what it is. I think it's mesmerizing, right? Like you were saying, it's just, there's something about it that you're just like, kind of get sucked into. Felder, I think, had figured out the riff at like a beach house. He was just playing it, didn't want to forget it, so he recorded it and ended up bringing back a little bit later. Henley on the drums. Like when I found out that he played, and not listening to this, but back when I had started learning a little bit more about the Eagles, when I found out that he was on drums singing at the same time, I was like, man, the drums are killer and he can sing at the same time. And this was also before I was up on Levon Helm, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm just saying this was early days. But just the way that he could sing and still play the drums that well, unbelievable.
Yeah, very talented guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the lyrics are fantastic in the song. It's like a campfire tale, you know, like this guy's telling you a story about something and you're kind of waiting for the ghost to kind of come around the corner. Felder almost sang this, apparently. He sang on the demos for this song and the band said, yeah, go ahead. And then I think they tried recording it and the band was like, just not quite. And then Henley took it over and they're like, yeah, there it is.
Yeah, there it is. That's what we're looking for. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, that would have been a different song. They made the right decision. I'm sorry, Don, you liar.
I think so.
But they made the right decision. Good tune. Yeah, that guitar solo at the end is, at the end. What is it? It's like a minute and a half, almost the 2 minutes of just instrumental at the end of that song.
Oh yeah, just
crazy.
Like mythological. You know.
Oh yeah.
Everybody knows every note of that solo.
Oh yeah. Yeah, totally.
And I think that was the other thing they wanted to do too. Is California. This is the first song written for the record, and then this kind of set the tone for the album, because California has that kind of mythological aspect of it. And so they kind of wrote around that. But yeah, that solo, iconic.
Do you watch the Eagles documentary? You watched that one? It's like 3 hours, just over 3 hours long.
Mm-mm.
That was wild. I watched that a few years ago. It was like, it's so good. I don't remember any of it, but I remember thinking like, this is so good. That's not true. I do remember some of it. I actually wrote a song because of that documentary.
Did you?
Yeah, totally took Take It Easy and kind of like ripped off that, but it was like in an ode to the band, because there was a part in that where I think it was Don Felder said that, like, oh no, Joe Walsh, he was like, during that last show, it was like Glenn Frey and Don Felder were like going at each other on the stage, and Joe Walsh was like, when you got guys in the same band, fighting at each other on the stage, you got problems.
It's crazy. There's a lot of stuff like during that concert. I think they played for some senator or something like that. And one of the guys said something that offended the other guys. Like, who was it? Felder and Frey were fighting all the time. And I think Felder said something that offended Frey or vice versa. And while they were playing one of the songs during the show, Frey came over to Felder and said in mid-song, I'm going to kick your ass after this show.
Yeah.
And he's like,
right.
What? And,
yeah.
And then they got off the stage and Felder smashed his guitar. Like,
Yeah.
I guess,
That was that last show. That was their last show, right? Yeah, you're right. That's what he said to him. And then that was when Joe Walsh was like, "You got problems," and it was, yeah, like, I'm gonna kick your, because they have it. They have the recording of him saying that. Yeah.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, it's recorded. Yeah, you can hear him in the live recording. You can hear him. That you just triggered that. He's like, "I'm gonna kick your ass," and yeah. And there's like footage of him chasing Felder into his car, and it's just
Good God, what a mess.
What a mess for such a successful band.
Randy Meisner, who used to be the bass player, I think fought with Glenn Frey. They had like a fist fight.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
fist fights.
Because Meisner wrote "Take It to the Limit." That was his little hit, and he one night didn't want to sing it because he couldn't hit the notes, and Frey was not happy about that. And then same thing. So after the show, I think he punched him
Through fists.
Good
That's
Lord,
insane.
man! And Meisner quit. He left the band after that.
Yeah, that was it.
And then
That was it
Timothy B.
afterwards.
Schmidt came in.
Yeah,
Remember you made that Poco reference?
Poco.
So Poco was, Meisner was in Poco, and Schmidt replaced him in Poco.
Oh, no way.
Meisner went to the Eagles, and then when Meisner left the Eagles, Schmidt came in from Poco
Schmidt.
to replace Meisner.
That's funny.
Mm-hmm.
He's a replacement, man. Great voice too, though.
Love it.
New Kid in Town.
I love this song, man.
Love this song.
The harmonies in the crescendo of this just will always kind of make my skin vibrate.
Oh yeah,
So good. Just such
it
good
is
songwriting.
a hell of a tune. Oh yeah, everything about it. And it was the other thing with the Eagles. With Eagles, I found is that you had no choice when listening to them, but to sing with the harmonies.
Right.
You just had no choice.
Yeah.
Don't sit there and tell me you didn't sing with the harmonies, Brent. I know you sang with the harmonies.
I didn't.
Okay, I'll put you in the liar category along with Don Felder, something you guys have in common. All right, I took that a little too far, but I do enjoy the harmonies and singing along with those.
Oh, so do I. They're
Yeah.
just so rich. Like I can't really, I'm sure. Well, maybe those old bands like the Beach Boys and stuff like that. But like, you'd be hard pressed to find another band that could do it that well.
Yeah, like they have that influence, obviously, of the old country blues players and songs and melodies, but then they really do, like Life in the Fast Lane is so good. It has those moments within it. Wasted Time as well. It takes in these, and I know this is their fifth album, so they've been doing it. I get that, but it's flawless, and it almost feels like something you've never heard before. It's
true. Yeah.
pretty amazing.
Yeah, you can. It's funny because you can hear that Walsh riff like in Life in the Fast Lane. Right away. As soon as you hear that, you know exactly who it is. It's just one of those iconic songs, right? As soon as you hear the first couple of notes.
It really is. Honestly, man, I was listening to it, and I'm like I feel like I've dropped this a few times lately, but one of the greatest rock songs, and obviously it holds up considering it's one of the greatest albums ever. But Life in the Fast Lane really is one of the greatest rock and roll songs of all time. It's amazing.
The title came from a conversation that Glenn Frey had with his drug dealer during like a high speed drive they were having one night in LA.
With his drug dealer, right? Like, oh, that's good. That's good. Going for while they were holding or something like that. Looked at him, said "Life in the Fast Lane." Mm-hmm. Like these guys, always on. He's like, "Life in the Fast Lane." I gotta hold that. That's a song. That's a song title. I'm gonna hold on to that. Like, could you, I don't know. I just think that's hilarious. Like, if I'm like, oh, I could use another mug of coffee. Oh, another mug of coffee. That's a great song title. Like, imagine that was your job, just to think of what song you're gonna write next.
Do you think it worked like that, or do you think they just kind of like maybe recalled it? That would be funny if they did do that. Like made little notes like "Life in the Fast Lane."
Right. Like pulled out their phone and the notes app.
Oh,
and
fuck.
typed it in there, or spoke to Siri. Siri, Life in the Fast Lane.
Not for
remember,
boomers.
set reminder for when I'm not stoned.
Which is never.
Never. So you know, great song. I love it. I love it. I love it when it is that like, and then like wow, like just even that little change up, man,
Yeah.
incredible. So
Yeah.
good.
Again, that was their move away from country, and that was a very clear message to everybody that they were going to follow a more rockier approach.
I know, but like barely. Like that's what I don't really get about this idea that this was them changing their direction. I don't buy it. Like the rest of this album.
I do think about that. Like Joe Walsh, there's like those, and if you know anything about Joe Walsh, he's like he's like he's Joe Walsh basically. He comes in and he's like he's a rock guy, right? And he really kind of breathed new life into that band for me.
Right. I just feel like they said that. They put this song on the album and maybe Victims of Love, and you're like, I feel like Joe Walsh just got eagled. Like I feel like the Eagles wanted to be James Ganged, but instead the Eagles the James Gang got eagled. So I don't know. I love the songs on here. I just feel like if you really wanted to do that, you should have half of this album should have been killer rock tunes.
Yeah,
That's just my perspective.
I see your point.
That's all. I'm not bothered by it because I'm not like, oh, there are 4 other albums before this were so amazing and they completely botched it by bringing the Joe Wall. I don't feel that. I'm just don't
I mean, it's not like a Motley Crue kind of transformation, right?
No, but that's not what I'm looking for. But I was like, where's more life in the fast lane? Right? Where's more of that stuff? That's all. It's all right.
Well, how many songs
okay.
are on this record? 8? 9? 9.
Yeah, and one is like a reprise.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, like.
Yeah.
No problems. I'm just saying. Joe Walsh got eagled. That's all. Wasted time.
Kind of overblown for me.
Oh, no kidding.
It's a bit bloated. Yeah. Don't you think? I like the chorus, but it's very kind of overly grand. I take The Last Resort over this. I think that's what I didn't like about the Eagles, is that they're kind of this is where the pretension comes from, right? These songs that are very kind of like overwrought. And it frustrates me as a listener because when it starts, you think that's a really nice melody, and then it kind of blows up into this big bloated thing, and it's like you could have maybe kind of held it down a little bit and added some, I don't know, it just doesn't sound authentic to me.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, I can see it. It goes a little off track. Okay. Interesting take. I wonder how everybody else feels about that. I think I agree. The Last Resort to me on this album is like the denouement, right? Like it's just an absolute
perfect ending.
Incredible way to kick it. Yeah, to exactly wrap it all up. But I love the melody of Wasted Time. It was like this idea, this whole idea that this relationship, whatever you were in was wasted time. You're kind of like you kind of, I don't know. It just really kind of makes you think, Brent. Where it's like, what are you doing? Is it like, it can just lend itself to many scenarios, right? Like you could be in a job, you could be doing something, like, I don't know, you could just be doing something and you're realizing like, man, is this just wasted time? But in the end, you realize it wasn't just wasted time, because nothing is wasted time, because it's experiencing, right? You're experiencing and your life changes in some capacity after that. Hold on, your life changes in some capacity after that.
Yeah.
Am I wrong? Am I wrong here? I feel
You
like I'm right.
should write Don Henley a letter.
I'm sure he's watching. Don, let me know your thoughts in the comments. We'll wait for his thoughts in the comments.
Wow. What's in that drink?
Gold.
Like peyote.
No, I don't know. Maybe. So did I have a moment there?
So you have you kind of did.
I thought I was onto something, but I guess I'm wrong.
No, it's a good little philosophical bit.
Well, am I wrong? Yeah, it's not wasted time. This isn't wasted time.
No, I'm joking. I get what you're saying. But I don't think that he meant it to be that broad.
Oh.
You know?
Well, he did say of the album, he's like, the reason why it was so big is because, people talk about having soundtracks to their lives.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I think this just came out at a time when it really played soundtracks to people's lives, whether, you were young and your life was changing, or you were older and your life was changing. And I mean, I guess that's any album really, but he just said that was this really lended to the success he felt of this one when it came out.
I don't know if he was like stoned when he talked about this record.
Of course he was.
He was saying some wild things about like branding and representation, and like he said something about the Eagles. Like we're an eagle, and the eagle is the representation of America, and Hotel California was a microcosm of America, and we were telling America that we had to make some changes, otherwise there wasn't going to be an America anymore. Do you ever?
Right.
So, yeah.
Right. Yeah. Like we made it 200 years.
That's it. That's it. That's the same one.
Right. Yeah.
But we're not going to make it much further if we don't make some changes. Like it was like
the last resort. The last resort, man. That's what that's really what that one is all about. But obviously the reprise is it's a great way to start side B, though. What would have been side B? Wasted time. Did you say reprise? Reprise? What is it? What's the word? Whatever. Doesn't matter. Tomato.
I say reprise. What did you say?
Look at us. Tomato. I said it at the same time you said it.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, funny. Victim of Love.
This is a good song. Again, classic Joe. So you can, like, as soon as you hear those notes, it's Joe Walsh. There's a funny story about the Eagles and the thing they started doing, I think, around their third record, where they would a couple of bands did this, actually, if you look into it. In the vinyl, that kind of, it's an illusion, but when it's spinning, it looks like the circles are kind of going into the center, right? So there's a little gap between the label and those circles. And sometimes bands would write things in there, like little messages. And the Eagles did this. And on Hotel California, on one of the sides, I think it's side B, they wrote, VOL is 5-piece live. Meaning Victim of Love is all 5 members of the band playing at the same time. And it's not overdubbed. Because apparently they got a lot of criticism for sounding very kind of clinical and homogenized as a band. And people said, well, it's because they track everything. And they said, VOL is 5-piece live. That was the message that they put there.
That's super cool. I hadn't heard that. That's amazing. I love that. It's a great nugget.
There's all kinds of weird stuff. There's weird messages. If you go through all those records, they would write something on every side of every record.
No kidding.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to go. I feel like my mom has a few Eagles records.
Look at them. You'll see them.
I think I'm going to have to. Or, Mom, go do it. Take a picture. Check it out. Take a picture. Send it to me. Whatever you got. Cool tune, man. Victim of Love. Cool tune. I was reading an article on Louder about this, and they were like ranking Hotel California songs from worst to best. And this was. I'm pretty sure was it this one, or this was number 8. But
really?
Like Victim of Love is like near the top of the list of like worst on the album. Yeah, really? I was like, I actually don't know how you could say any of these songs are like worst.
What was worst?
But
Try and Love
that's
Again?
what I was trying to remember. It was either Victim of Love or Try and Love. No, it wasn't Try and Love Again.
Pretty Maids?
I actually think it. No, I think it was Victim of Love. And then Try and Love Again.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty Maids all in a row. Life in the Fast Lane was actually like in the top, like the bottom 5, maybe something like that.
Wow.
Yeah. New Kid in Town was in the bottom 5. Yeah, I think Wasted Time was the top one, and then Last Resort. It was Wasted Time, then Last Resort. Yeah.
Of best?
Best.
Oh, for God's sake.
Yeah. I read a couple of articles that people like really did not like what the writer had to say about some of the songs on the album. So,
yeah.
just interesting. But yeah, Victim of Love, great tune. Pretty Maids all in a row. That is the next one after this.
That's another Joe Walsh tune.
Does he sing on this? Does he sing?
He does. Yeah, he does. It's good. I used to think this was a little snoozy. It didn't really.
But see what
anywhere,
I mean?
but...
That's what I'm saying. Joe Walsh got eagled. Like all of a sudden he came in. He ran a couple, but then they were like, he was like, wait a second, I could be cool. I could write a Desperado.
Yeah.
Right. So
that's actually a really good point. It's true because it kind of like it's like he's kind of moving through quicksand a little bit with the song.
A little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, not to say that he doesn't have his rockers on this album, like you said, Victim of Love, Life in the Fast Lane, but yeah, here's him getting sucked in a little bit. Again, it is a bit of a snoozer, but it's kind of like this cool, like, like you almost feel like it's like a Tony Bennett type of song or like a Frank Sinatra. Like you just kind of get taken away in a different way.
Yep,
and
I agree.
It's also not a Henley ballad. It's not a Fry ballad. Like this is a Joe Walsh ballad, and feels cool. Feels good.
I agree. I don't mind it. I actually like it. Yeah.
Try and Love Again.
Track 9.
Track 9.
It's a
Track
skipper.
8. Just about. Oh yeah, second last. You're right.
Yeah. It's perfectly placed on this record.
It is.
You know?
Yeah. If there's a song that belongs here, it is this song.
Mm-hmm. I feel bad. I think that Randy Meisner, like I said, wrote Take It to the Limit. And I think that he kind of wanted to do another one. And this was his another one. And it didn't really work out.
I do like the dueling guitars, like to start this. Like, again, like some good country flair, some amazing melodies.
You know, it's almost like George Harrison and the Beatles, right? This would have been okay. It would have been good in another band. It would have been better in another, or not another band, on another record. On someone else's record, this would have been one of the, good to kind of better than good songs. But on an album like this, it's unfortunately a George Harrison.
It's a George Harrison. Yeah, it is. Killer tune. The Last Resort.
Perfect end to a great record.
Just incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible. I had that moment with Songbird, I had that moment with Songbird from Rumors on Fleetwood Mac.
That's right.
This was pretty close. If I happened to have been somewhere in off grid listening to the song, I guarantee I would have had the same
no way, really. Yeah.
Oh,
That was a great song. I was very surprised at that little artistic kind of impression that you provided.
I thought that would have been funny. Because I thought about it in the moment. I was like, I should just get this just in case.
It was great.
Oh, thanks. It was
I
fun.
think a lot of people were impressed by that.
A little bit of editing wizardry, folks. I can edit a little more than just a podcast, But yeah, that was fun. Great song of this, man. The Last Resort. Again, just a story takes you through. Man, so good.
Yep. So, what's the verdict? Got to be a 5.
It's got to be 3 out of 5 for sure. I'm sorry. Just kidding. It's a 5 out of 5. This is amazing. This is so good. And I know I'm just like jumping into the bandwagon. No real different takes on this. 25 million copies sold, 3 times platinum. I get it, folks, but there's a reason. The reason is because it's great.
And the thing is, when people try to be disruptive and say, it's not really that good, it's like, I don't know why everyone loves this. There's a reason why people love this to the degree that they do. And that reason is because it's good. I don't, I have no tolerance for those idiots who are like, it's not really that good. It's a 2 out of 5.
Yeah, because they didn't do. No, I'm with you, man. This is a staple. This is a music changer. This is a generational changer.
Mm-hmm.
This is like everything about this album has it. It's incredible. It's amazing.
And like I said, I wasn't an Eagles fan. There was something very pretentious about them in my mind, but you can't deny that this is not an excellent record.
You're doing well so far. Damn the Torpedoes, Rumors, Hotel California.
What's next?
What's next?
Okay, I'm gonna hit you with this one, man. This is on this record some of the greatest musical performances that you're ever gonna hear.
Can I try and guess just while you're saying this? Can I try and guess real quick?
Of course.
He's the DJ, I'm the rapper.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one?
Yeah.
DJ Jazzy Jeff and Will Smith?
That's it. How did you guess?
Fresh Prince?
Yeah. Two highly technical musicians.
My third eye, man. I could feel it. Sorry.
Well done.
Okay, go ahead.
Way to go.
Go ahead. What's next? Sorry, what's next? So, okay. Continue your very, enlightening. Yes. On with it.
Okay. I'm going to introduce you to Steely Dan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is around the same time. But Steely Dan was a lot more jazz inflected. And so they have, you know some of the songs, but when you really get into Steely Dan and really listen to the musicianship, it literally will blow your mind. First record's called Can't Buy a Thrill. There's a lot of really popular songs on there that you'd know. But I think that I'm going to ask you to listen to Aja. A-J-A, it's spelled Aja. Steely Dan. Yeah. I think in terms of proficiency and what Steely Dan's about, that's probably their best record.
No kidding. Wow. Okay. All right, man. Steely knife.
What?
Hotel California. What does he say? What is the word about a steely knife? I think is that what he says?
Right.
That
they stab it with their steely knives, but they just can't kill the beast.
That's right. So the steely.
They stab it with their Steely Dans.
Right.
Actually,
Okay.
I'm going to tell you when you come back.
Yeah.
Well, you know what a Steely Dan is, then, don't you?
I've heard a little bit about the lore of the name
we're
of
going to
this
talk
one.
about that.
So
We're going to talk about what a Steely Dan is.
I'm going to let my parents figure that one out on their own.
Oh, they might already know.
Yeah, I'd prefer not to think of that or believe it, but yeah. So, anyways, that was that line in the song was in reference to Steely Dan, their Steely Dan, because I guess Steely Dan had referenced the Eagles in one of their songs. So
Is that a fact? Is that true?
I mean, it's on the internet. I don't know if it's true or not.
How
for
about
real.
that? Steely knives, really, huh?
Was my understanding in my research of that, was that they meant that was
That's really interesting. I didn't know that.
To Steely Dan. Yeah.
Did they know what a Steely Dan was?
Wine being spirits. I don't know. Maybe not. Is it hot in here? Is it?
It was.
Is it getting warm in here? Is it just me?
There you go. You have a red one?
That's what I was trying to do. There. Does it not look red? Does it look purple?
Purple.
Oh.
There you go. Orange.
Nice.
Getting closer.
It's just the way the camera's catching it. Here, this is...
There you go.
On a dark desert highway. Cool wind in my hair. Great. Steely Dan. Please do your research, folks, before coming to the show about what a Steely Dan is. I don't want to hear about it in the comments. I don't want to be the one to educate you. You figure it out on your own. Well, thanks, Brent. Rock and roll, man. Fuck it, let's keep it going. Music,
You're
it's the
welcome.
greatest. It's the greatest thing in the world.
It is.
Can't touch music. Don't touch this.